Hello, my name is Jacqueline Russell, and I'm a product manager at Microsoft for the Visual Studio Express Editions, which are a set of free, easy-to-use tools for hobbyists and amateurs to create unique projects in all sorts of different software applications. I've been creating Windows and web applications for my own amusement and for friends and family for quite a while now. If this is your first software project, then you're in for a real treat. And don't worry, if I can do this stuff, then you can too. In this introductory video, I'll go over some of the main features of VisualCSharp 2008 Express and cover some of the most common tasks you'll be doing as you create your programs. By the end of this video, you'll be more familiar with the development environment and able to get started creating your first application. I encourage you to follow along with me as I go through this video, and if I go over any steps too fast, go ahead and use that pause button. If you're already an experienced Visual Studio user, then you may not learn anything new from these introductory videos. But regardless of your skill level, VisualCSharp 2008 Express is a very powerful tool that can help turn your ideaware into software. First, let's get started by downloading and installing the software, which you can do from the Visual Studio Express website. On the Download section of the website, click on VisualCSharp Express Edition to start the download process. If you have installed a beta version of Visual Studio 2008 Express, then it is important to uninstall this before continuing. If you would like to create an installation CD, or if you need to perform an installation disconnected from the network, then you can download an IMG file that contains the complete setup in the offline download section. When you start the install process, this first screen asks if you want to give feedback to Microsoft on your setup experience. So let's go ahead and click this and click Next. Then you will be asked to accept the license agreement and click Next. The next screen presents an additional installation option. Note that if you've already installed another Express product and selected this option, then this screen may not appear. The MSDN Express library is a useful additional download that installs product documentation and help files locally onto your computer, so you can access support information while disconnected from the internet. Let's go ahead and keep that selected and click Next. This next screen shows us what's about to be installed. We can see that VisualCSharp 2008 Express Edition will be installed, as well as the MSDN library. SQL Server Compact Edition is a great complementary free product that is the default database automatically installed with VisualCSharp Express, and is good to have if you plan on creating any data-driven applications, such as a collection tracking program or a reporting utility. Notice that this is a change from VisualCSharp 2005, which used SQL Server Express Edition as the default database engine. In comparison, SQL Server Compact Edition is a lighter weight version and a bit easier to use. However, if you do want to use the SQL Server Express Edition, it is also provided as a free download on the Express website and works well with VisualCSharp 2008 Express Edition. Let's go ahead and click Install. Please be patient during the installation process. On some older computers, the installation may take up to an hour. You may also be prompted to reboot your computer, so make sure you have saved any open documents. Since I already had the .NET Framework 3.5 installed on this machine, luckily I didn't need to reboot this time. On this last screen, you can check for any updates. When you get a chance, I would highly recommend that you register the product. This quick step gives you access to some free resources, such as ebooks to help you get started working with VisualCSharp Express, some free images from Corbis to use on your applications, and lots of other cool components and discounts. It also allows you to enjoy uninterrupted use of the VisualCSharp development environment, because otherwise the software will expire after 30 days. Now that the installation is complete, you can run C# Express from the Start menu under All Programs. The first time you run it, it may take a few moments to load. The first thing you're presented with is something called the Start page. This has some useful links. You can open projects you've worked on recently in this section, see samples and tutorials in the Getting Started section, and view the latest news headlines for recreational developers. Let's dive right in and create a new project. From the File menu, select New Project. The window that appears offers several different project templates that can be used as starting points for your project, depending on what type of application you want to create. The Windows Forms application template lets you easily design familiar Windows-style applications. The Class Library template allows you to create a block of code that can be reused by several different applications. The Console application template creates a program that uses a simple text interface which runs in the command prompt. You can also create an empty project that won't automatically set up anything for you. Something that's new in VisualCSharp 2008 is the WPF application and WPF browser application templates. WPF stands for Windows Presentation Foundation and is a new technology that allows you to create applications with a rich graphical user interface. A great example of a WPF application is the snowboarding application, which uses all sorts of rich media interfaces to present a real user's day of riding on the mountain. Unfortunately, we don't have time to cover WPF in this video, but if you want to learn more, there are plenty of tutorials and resources on the web to help you. Let's go ahead and build a Windows Form application. We can name the new project anything that we'd like. This becomes the name of the folder in which the application is built, and also the name of the executable file that's created for our program. We'll call this project Desktop Window, and click OK. VisualCSharp gives us a head start on our project by providing us with a blank window or form that is already started. A form is a container upon which you can place controls to define the interface of your application. There are some familiar Windows components already here at the top of our form. An icon that you can customize in the top left corner. A title for our form. The first form is called Form 1 by default. And the minimize, maximize, and close buttons in the upper right-hand corner. Notice that when we click on our form, these white squares appear at the edges of our form. This allows us to resize the form. You can see that our form opened in a separate tab called form1.cs design, overlaying the start page that we were looking at before. This is called the designer view of our program. On the right side of the designer is a window called the Solution Explorer. In the same way that you can manage and navigate files on your computer system with the Windows Explorer, you can use the Solution Explorer to manage and navigate the files in your solution. Right now, our desktop window program contains 2 folders and 2 files. The Properties folder contains properties for our project. The References folder contains all the libraries that our project references. The form1.cs file contains all the code for our form. And the program.cs is the main code file for our program. Besides the Solution Explorer window, another window you will use a lot is the Properties window. Select View, Properties window to see this Properties window appear below the Solution Explorer. This window shows you all the properties or settings associated with the selected object. For example, if we click on Form 1, we can see all of the properties for that form. It's easy to use the Properties window to modify the settings of an object. We can just change the value in the